Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's the Evil Dead movies.
Yep.
That before turn. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Well, let's get to it. Today is Friday the 6th of a new year. And we're going to be talking about Evil Dead, the movies.
That's right. And the first one came out in 1981, starring Bruce Campbell, that guy. He plays as Ash. And I want to talk quickly about the continuity because...
Continuity.
No. Yeah, continuity. You're right. I want to talk quickly about the continuity because people are often confused. The first one... was supposed to, I believe it was supposed to be a serious film, but it ended up being funny anyways because it's campy. And
well, it's definitely more serious take, yeah.
Yes. And then the second one came out, and the second one wasn't technically a sequel. It was more like a...
Redo.
Yeah, a redo, you know, where kind of the same story happens. In the first one, they just make it funnier. And then obviously the third one. So
I really go for it in that one. That's my favorite.
So then, yeah, okay. So essentially what happens is in both Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead the redo, Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, goes into the woods and some hellish things happen. I don't know if the first one had the book, but I know it did have the book. All right, so there's a tape with incantations on it which were spoken by someone. And when they play it, it opens a doorway to hell and, you know, monsters from the forest or spirits.
I don't know if it's necessarily hell. I just think they reanimates the dead and allows demons to come in, but I don't know if it's necessarily hell. It's never really... But yeah, yes. It's a scientist that's studying this Book of the Dead, and I think it's like Hungarian or something. I can't remember where it came from, but it's like made of skin.
Well, it's called the Necronomicon, so...
It's bound.
That's got to be
bound with human
Egyptian
flesh. And, yeah.
So, the first one... it wasn't... I don't believe it was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be like a kind of campy horror, and it absolutely was. But people laughed so hard that when the second one came out, they just kind of went over... I don't want to say over,
well, they definitely had a sense of humor. And, you know, Bruce Campbell, you know, he's a big part of this. If you don't know, which you probably do, but you know, he's a big part. He's more than just an actor, you know. He's you know, co-writer and, you know, helps with the sound and all that stuff. And he went on to have a very big cult career.
Yes, he did. My Name is Bruce, for one. So it was directed by Sam Raimi, you know, who did Spider-Man. Is that right? Yeah, wow, he did do Spider-Man. Is it true that in every single film he has that Oldsmobile? I think every single.
I don't know.
I think in every single film Sam Raimi does, he has an Oldsmobile.
I never paid attention to that.
Anyways, what is there to say about Duel Dead though? I mean,
the first one, well, yeah, it was just kind of,
you know,
the kids locked in a cabin with all the weird stuff happening. There are some funny, you know, some good parts where, you know, it's 3 girls and 2 guys.
Right.
And the 2 guys are, you know, intimate with their girls or whatever. Bruce is kind of this nice guy. The other guy's kind of a dirtball. But, yeah, it takes the girls first, like, pretty much. And there's one girl that just sits there and laughs. And
oh, God, yeah, that was creepy.
I forget what she says, darn it. It's really funny what she says, but... I certainly remember some stuff from the second one.
Yeah. Everyone remembers stuff from the second one. That was the funny one. That was the one most people remember.
Clearly very low budget. Right. You know, the camera outside the window is the monster, you know, by and large. And they do have some makeup effects that are kind of fun to look at, but ridiculous.
I think something to touch upon is the similarities from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. In both, there's a woman in a cellar.
Yeah.
I think the first time it was the girl got possessed and then they trapped her in the cellar. And the second time, was it the witch was already in the cellar? Right. Okay. And then the second thing that I remember the most out of both of them was the woman who gets raped by a tree.
Yeah, that's the first one.
I thought it was in both. I'm almost positive it's in both.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, it's kind of hard to delineate, especially when you watch them so closely together. I did just rewatch the first one recently, so I remember exactly. And it was largely to remember what wasn't in the first one, and because the second one has all the fun stuff that people remember, like deer head and the hand and the
strapping the chainsaw
and the eyeball in the mouth.
Eyeball.
And the chainsaw to the bride in half and all that stuff. So the second one, the first one just kind of sets the stage and got them into this thing like, oh wow, we could be successful, and they got obviously a clear bigger budget.
Right. And then they went to the second one, but I don't know why
they went full.
Yeah, I don't know why they redid the first one. I think it would have been better if they did a sequel, as opposed to.
I just just like I've had the time where it's like I can do better. I'm sure that's.
Yeah, but
we already got the script, half written. But,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, way to half-ass it, guys.
It is confusing for the rest of us, who follow it.
So again, the first one was there, and then the second one was a remake of the first one, kind of, and then the third one is actually the sequel to the second one. So the third is Army of Darkness, and that's the technical sequel.
Yeah.
And that's
a departure for me.
Yeah, a lot of people have a problem with the third one.
It becomes more of a hero movie.
It does. Well, I mean, I guess both Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 aren't really technically hero movies. Just, Ash kind of gets stuck into the situation.
Yeah, but I mean, like the first one and the second one, he's much more out of control. The third one, he's in control.
Yes, absolutely.
The third one, I didn't really respond to that much. A lot of people love that one the most, actually, because it is the most fantastic. And
and you do have the claymated, people and the great special effects with the makeup and stuff. But
chainsaw on the arm.
Right. But the second one, I think, is by far the best of them.
Man, it's my childhood. It's, my high school years. I remember, doing this at parties and stuff, like, like having my hand have its mind of its own, like.
Well, who hasn't done that?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Sorry. And then I love the, like, someone's in my fruit cellar, and like, dead before dawn. Like those are the two lines I remember from them, automatically. Those are the two I think of.
So. Evil Dead is a lot of fun.
Stomping on the gooey-headed witch with the eye popping out.
Evil Dead is a lot of fun. Even the first one, which wasn't supposed to be very funny, it was. And in a lot of places, it was actually kind of spooky. You kind of get jolts of oh my god, startles in some places.
Not me.
Really? Maybe it was just me. And then the second one was still spooky, but not as, they definitely went through the comical route. And then the third one was just over-the-top comical, and they had a big budget to do stuff. And I think that's where it kind of lost its charm.
Yeah, I guess so. To me, there's nothing scary about these films at all. It's all fun and
the first one had some startling moments.
I don't see it, but of course I didn't watch it when it first came out, so I don't remember how old I was or how long it had been out when I saw it, but... I don't know, yeah. I mean, the only thing creepy to me about the first one was the book. The book was kind of creepy looking.
Oh, yeah, just the way it looked.
The skin.
Yeah, because it didn't really do anything until the second or third. The second one, it did something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, they're cult classics for sure. They
Absolutely.
always will be. And a lot of people already know about them. If you don't know about them, you should watch them, or at least the second one. Watch the second one.
I would say watch the second one. It's
a lot of fun.
Yes,
it really is.
It's probably the best. If you want to see where it started, go to the first one, which is also fun. And I think it's on Netflix now, so you can watch
the first one's on
the
Netflix.
The first one was on Netflix. And then Army of Darkness, it is a sequel, and it does kind of leave off. I mean, it does start exactly where the second one, Evil Dead 2, left off.
For my money, though, if you're watching the second one and you want another of that in that vein, I would skip. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's
but it is good.
It is good, and it does have two endings, although one of them was the one that Raimi liked, and one of them was the one that the Universal producers liked.
Well, and also, like, these films, like, people think that they're super low budget. They're really not that low budget. It takes money to do these things.
The first one was kind of low budget.
Sure, but it still took some money. And the second one took a lot of money because they had to, do all the prosthetics and the animate, whatever. A lot of them were just hand puppets, but still. You have to pay to create these things.
Yeah, the deer was totally up.
I have been on productions where we, paid to have something made in latex, and that's really expensive. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
So appreciate these. You by no means, you can do these things yourself, but these things take some time and some effort, and you should really give them the respect they deserve. Some of them, some people just don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just want to share our fond memories of it. This is like, it shaped us. It helped shape us.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. And when you look back, you're not really sure why. It was just kind of like this magical time. It was like right time, right place, right subject matter.
Yeah.
It was different from what I saw. It was, scary but not funny. You know what I mean? Like, it was supposed to be, whatever. It's Evil Dead, you know. It's woo, but it's really funny.
Yes.
It's one that I would not hesitate to like show my wife, or you know, like she hates horror movies. She hates being scared. She hates having like you know, any kind of tense moments.
Palpitations.
These are not tense. Not tense at all. It's just like. Really? I mean, there's some gore, you know, like it's like, oh, my hand is possessed, I'll cut it off, and like, you know, all over your face. And
stuff. Which I think was the first time they did that, and the second time would be Idle Hands, right?
But honestly, like a rubber witch that gets squished, like his head gets squished, and then like an eye pops. That can't be scary.
Yes. I mean,
I guess it can creep you out, I suppose.
Well, I mean,
you're really little.
Yeah.
Why is the head bending that way?
It's not supposed to do that.
I don't know. That's it, guys. We'll see you. Thanks for following us. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us your comments. Leave us your feedback.
Comic-Con's coming. Yeah, if you're going to Emerald City Comic-Con, let us know. We'd love to, you know, get Italian. Hopefully meet some of you guys.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Dead before dawn.
Oh.
Dead before dawn. Dead before dawn. Someone's in my fruit cellar.
That should be like every time you greet me, I think you should say someone's in my fruit cellar. It's like, hey RJ, someone's in my fruit cellar.
Someone's in my fruit cellar.
By the way, the coolest thing in the world is the chainsaw arm. That's awesome. Well, that's in the second one. Yeah.
Next week, it's the Marvel comic Mystery Men. Someone's in my fruit cellar. That's my favorite one.
Someone's in my fruit cellar.
Evil Dead 2. I love those two comments. It's awesome. And when they stomp on the head and the eye pops out and he eats it, that's awesome. And then the hand, of course, is fun. And when the deer. See, that's the thing. Is like I remember the deer so vividly that whenever I watch the first one, because they have that shot where they're like behind the deer, you see the deer prevalently. I always think, oh, that must be in this one. In the first
where it laughs?
Evil Dead.
It does do that in the first one.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. I just watched the first one. It does not do that. It does it in the second one. The second one's where he hallucinates and it like laughs and it comes off the wall and stuff.
In the first one, it totally laughs. I remember it laughing in the first one.
Oh.
I'm serious.
No.
Yes.
They didn't have anything like that. They didn't have anything fun. They didn't have the headless bride with the chainsaw.
Right.
That was in the second one.
Mm-hmm.
The hand and the goofy girl in the cellar. I mean, she obviously was the girl in the cellar, but she wasn't the crazy one, you know, fruit cellar and all that stuff.
Okay.
With the eye and the squishy head and all that stuff.
Right.
It was not in there. I just watched it. Literally just watched it, and it wasn't in there.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah. We didn't really have much to say at it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we didn't. I thought even though I didn't write anything, I thought that I would have like so much more to say about it, but you know.
It's really, it's just fun stuff.
Yeah, it's just
put
fun.
together. It's not really
informational
even
at
a
all.
movie. It's got fun little skits.
You're absolutely right. It is just fun little skits. That's what we should say.
Okay.
By the way, we have absolutely no information on this, but it's a bunch of fun little skits.
Yeah, it's not really a movie. We just kind of like it. I mean, it's not like there's a really in-depth story or whatever. I will say, you know, it's all like memories. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like everybody knows where they were when Kennedy got shot. It's like, I remember, you know, how I feel about Evil Dead, like what it invoked in me. Because I remember...
You just totally did a campy horror movie with the death of a president.
I'm just saying that it's one of those things you remember certain aspects, but not the actual content
right.
what's going on. Like, I just remember all the little... They all break down little skit things for me. And, you know, I remember also, like, when they had the dark speech, you know what I mean? Like, when he was doing the incantation.
Yeah.
Before I knew it was, like, Latin-Fairy, or, you know, it's like some dialect that just we don't understand as you know, English-speaking people. But I was like, I would actually, like, turn the volume down because I didn't want it to, like, speak something. You know, it's like, when I first saw it, it was just kind of weird that that was the only part that really kind of creeped me out. But now I know it's, like, German or something. You know, it's, like, some normal language.
The only thing that creeped you out was when he was speaking the language?
Well, yeah, because it's like the Bloody Mary thing, right? Say Bloody Mary in front of a mirror.
Yeah, okay.
I don't even want to think it. You know, like it's just like it gets in your head, and it's not true.
Or Candyman. Oh, we should totally do Candyman.
If you really want it to be true, it could be true, I suppose. But it's just not one of those things that it just creeps us out because it's like you can't do this, and if you do it, something bad will happen. And it's like, and then of course there's some of us that are like, nah, it's like, oh, no big deal. Then later that night, it's like. Like me. So anyway.
Oh, show. Okay, yeah. So it is a lot of fun. We do absolutely love it. Check out the second one. Do I have to say that again?
No.
No.
Don't. That's it.